All right, last one. Everybody say woo-woo, woo-woo. All right, let's get the vertical velocity here. 25 times the sine of 55, and I get 20. Whoa, that was weird. I get 20.5 meters per second. All right, how many times have we done these? V final squared equals V initial squared plus 2G change in Y. Again, this is just the halfway trip to the top of the path. At that point, it's 0 for an instant. My initial velocity, we just solved for, it also gets squared, plus 2 times negative multiplied by change in Y. Let's subtract that 20.5 meters per second out of there. It's squared, and you should have seen this enough that I can just do it that way. Alright, 20.5 squared divided by 2 times 9.8. I get a change of Y of 21.4 meters. That's how high. Woo-woo! Alright, now I need to know how far it went, and I need my horizontal velocity, so 25 times the cosine of 55, and I get 14.3 meters per second. D equals VT. My V is 14.3, we just did that. Now I need a time. The time I'm going to steal from the vertical. And this one, because the ball goes up and down, when I use this equation, on the way down, the final velocity is negative 20.5 meters per second. My initial is positive 20 because it's on the way up. In the beginning of the kick up, in the back, on the way down, it's negative, plus a negative 0.9.8 meters per second squared. And time is what I'm interested in. Let's subtract that 20.5 from both sides and get negative 41 meters per second equals, sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, equals 9.8 meters per second squared, which is negative, times t. Divide that negative 9.8 out of there, but I gotta do it on both sides. 41 divided by 9.8, and I get 4.18 seconds. I'll leave that in my calculator. That goes up here. I'm going to multiply that by 14.3, and I get 59.8 meters. That's how far it went. All right. Woo-woo, woo-woo. Done a million of those. Let's do the part to see if it goes over the fence. All right. This ball went 59.8 meters. We're interested in the vertical displacement at the 50 meter mark horizontally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal the time at the 50 meter mark if it was traveling at, oh, I never put that back in there. Wasn't this 14.3? Sorry about that. All right, I'm back. The velocity is 14, whoa, that just freaked me out. The velocity is 14.3. Remember, I'm in a horizontal equation, only horizontal things can go in there. 50 divided by 14.3. I get a time that is going to be at the 50 meter mark of 3.49 seconds. Now, I need to know my change in Y equals Y initial plus V initial t plus 1/2 gt squared. We're going to say the ground is 0, so I don't need that. My initial, remember, we're in the vertical again, so use your vertical velocity. Time was 3.49 seconds. Now, I don't know if you remember this from earlier, but this whole thing is going to be negative because gravity's negative. So 0.5, I took the negative from my gravity right there, and I threw it right here. And then 3.49 seconds. Be sure to square that. So, let's do this first piece. And remember, seconds goes away. I'll have meters subtracted from some other meters after I do that. Okay, so let's do the first number here. 20.5 times 3.49, and I get 71.5 meters. Now let's do this second part. 3.49 squared times 9.8 times 0.5, and this is subtracted off. There's a subtraction symbol there, 59.7. So I'm going to go 71.5 minus answer. It's already sitting in my calculator. And I get a change of y, or a height, of 11.8 meters. Woo woo. Woo woo. So it will go over the wall. The wall is only 10 meters high. Bye-bye.